Hello and welcome. Hi guys, welcome. As you're settling in, I want to tell you thank you for being here. And we will, if you have a block at your house, I'll offer the opportunity to use your block tonight. So if you have a block or something like that that you want to grab and have nearby, go ahead and do that before we get started. We have a few more minutes. free to say hi in the chat if you have a chance. It's always nice to hear from you guys. We'll wait just 1 or 2 more minutes. So make sure that you allow that at least a little bit of time to get comfortable. A minute to come into your breath before we practice together. Good. So welcome. Thank you again for being here. And let's start together in a comfortable seated position, an easy pose. And just an opportunity to drop into some mindfulness before we get into some movement and down into that meditative layer as well. So start where you are with everything that you have, with everything that you're carrying with you today. It's welcome here on the mat with you. Just find that seat. Gradually soften into your own skin, soften into your own body to where you feel held. To where you feel like you are the support that you seek. Space where you can offer yourself the reassurance that so often we look outward for. Draw inward, see if you can find that inside. For the moment, give yourself the benefit of the doubt that you've got that box ticked already. You have what you need for you. And offer it up from the heart. We're going to take this body that we're settled into and we're going to move it around and we're going to work with it in a really loving and respectful way. So encourage your spine to grow a little taller. See where the body wants to open and expand. And also acknowledge where the body still needs to kind of hunker down. It's okay to experience both those feelings at the same time. From your tall spine, start to lengthen your chin up toward the ceiling so the front of your throat gets long. Take long, deep breaths in and out through your nose. Completely unhurried. Letting the head rock back just as far as is comfortable for your cervical spine. No pinch. Allow the breath to be felt in the front of the throat, the front of the neck. Very gently draw your shoulders down and back so that the front of the neck is fully open. That attention at the throat chakra. Breathing long and deep, and roll your chin down to your chest. And in that transition, if you noticed any shift in the shoulders or rounding in the upper spine or slouching in the lower back, see if you can course correct in a gentle way. Allow the chin to fall all the way down into the chest. So now we're lengthening through the back of the neck. Feel as though the skin on the back of the neck is stretching all the way up over the back of the skull. And allow the breath to be felt in the back of the throat. And continue that long, deep breathing and just bring the head back to neutral. So that the gaze could peer out over the horizon. The chin is neither extended upward or folded downward. It's level with the floor beneath you. And notice that you can kind of just slide the head back in space, maybe just a couple of millimeters, so that the head is lined up over the center of the body, over the center of the heart. And then let's turn our heads to the right. Just glide that chin over your right shoulder and continue long, deep breaths. And the body wants to go along with these movements, right? It wants to comply. So try not to be harsh if you find yourself kind of falling out of position or needing to readjust. It's natural. Just invite the spine to stay centered. Breathe through the left side of the neck and throat. Drop the left shoulder, head down. And continue that long, deep breathing. Slowly sweep the chin over toward the left shoulder. And take it to your range. So to where you feel just a gentle tug. And see if you can feel that, feel how it works, the muscles, not only in the sides of the neck, but also across the clavicles and up into the face, over the jaw, around the corner of the eye. Breathe into that. Breathe into that deeper sensation, that subtler sensation. Breathe into the right side of the throat. Then bring the head back through center. And just pause right there in the middle. Notice the freedom that comes from such a simple opening exercise. I'm going to take my right hand in Vishnu Mudra. Thumb, ring finger, and pinky finger extended, and first two fingers folded in. If that's difficult for you to do, you can just do this with your thumb and index finger. Otherwise, first two fingers folded in. And we'll do a little Surya Badana. So we're going to cover the left nostril and breathe in through the right. Switch so that you breathe out through the left. And it's that same pattern again and again, in through the right. And out through the left. So we're making a circular pattern rather than going back and forth. In through the right. And out through the left. In through the right. Out through the left. Keep going like that. Inhale right. This is activating our solar energy, our Surya energy, the fire, the flame within us. Exhale left. Bringing a calm current in through the right of strength and power and perseverance to the start of our practice. Exhale left. We're charging up the energy centers of the body. Exhale left. Inhale right. And exhale left. One more round. Inhale right. Exhale left. And then let your right hand fall to your knee and take some breaths between both nostrils evenly. Feel that warmth, that light at the center of the forehead. And that glow, that shimmer, radiating down through the body. Bring the soles of your feet to touch so that you are in Badakanasana, bound angle pose. And hold on to your ankles. Cat and cow from here. So pull the elbows back and let the chest move forward. Breathe in. And breathe out. Start to round your back. Your arms can go straight. Your head can drop, chin to chest. Inhale, we rock forward on the sits bones. The whole spine lengthens and the heart pushes forward. Exhale, round back, sink back into the tailbone. Inhale, ripple up through the spine. Chest forward, shoulders back, elbows pull back. Exhale, round. One more like that. Inhale, come on up. Open and expand the upper chest, expand the widest part of the lungs and the ribs, and exhale around. Tuck your sternum in, chin to chest. And we're gonna roll down onto our backs from here. So use the hands behind you if you like, or use your core strength to roll down, keeping the legs in Badakanasana. So you come to Supta Badakanasana, reclined bound angle. And then let the hands rest somewhere on the body here for just a few rounds of breath. Hands to thighs or to pelvis, low belly, or one hand on belly, one hand on heart. Just make that connection back to your physical body. Make this a somatic experience. Allow the feelings and sensations running through you to recycle through the body. These energy loops you're creating with hands carefully placed. The back of your head rest heavy into the floor so that the jaw can relax and the neck can relax. Sun breath all the way down into your hips. And then we'll point the knees up toward the ceiling. So we close the inner thighs, soles of the feet to the mat. And then we'll hover the knees over the hips. And right away, you'll feel how the tip of the pelvis affects how the low back is oriented against the mat. And that's all well and good because the body's just coming to our aid. But see if you can put the flattest surface of the back of your pelvis against the ground. So not the spine, but the back of the pelvis is flat against the ground. Now take your hands behind your head. Check out that your knees are right over top of your hips. And there's a 90-degree bend at the knees, feet flexed. So we're not hanging down. We're nice and aligned and steady in the lower body here. Hands behind the head, curl the chest up with an exhale. Pull the belly button down without rounding your low back into the mat. So we're flattening the abs down and in, but we're keeping the spine really long out through the tailbone and up through the crown of the head. We'll inhale to release without letting the belly pop up, right? So we're working with kind of sheets or layers here. The front sheet of the body stays flat. The back sheet of the body stays even. Curl up with an exhale. And notice that the curl isn't coming from the neck. We're not doing chin to chest here. Keep a nice open front of the throat. And release back down. Inhale. Exhale, we'll lift. Feel as though you're lifting up from the side ribs. And release that back down. Inhale. Exhale, curl up. Spine long. So instead of curling the hips up away from the floor, keep lengthening the tailbone forward, knees right over the hips. Inhale down. These are long, slow, deep breaths. Exhale up. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale up. Inhale out. Exhale up. Offer yourself some compassion here. Inhale. Exhale, curl up. Stay here, extend the right leg out and turn your right shoulder towards your right knee without pulling that knee in. Keep it stacked right over the hip so nothing changes with this left leg.
And the right leg, if that's too intense on the low back, extend it up instead of out. Twist the shoulders. And then bring the right knee back to meet the left knee. Head and shoulders back to the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out, curl up. Extend the left leg out or up. And turn the left shoulder toward the right knee. Good. And then bring the left knee back in. Lower chest and shoulders down. Curl up. Right leg out. Twist. So it's not just the elbow. We're not collapsing in the right side of the chest. Keep that elbow open and turn the right side of your heart toward your knee. And then bring that right knee back up. Park it. Unwind. Relax down. And notice that there's still activity going on even when we're relaxed, when we're released out of the pose. Curl up again. Left leg out. Twist to your right. Keep the head back, the throat back. Knee back to center. And as you release, the front sheath of the belly stays flat. It doesn't ever fully relax here because we're holding our legs in this position. Curl up. Right leg out. Turn to the left. Right knee back in. Unwind. Relax down. Lengthen through the sides of the waist here. Curl up. Left leg out. Twist to the right. So there's no jerking action. There's no push. There's no grunt and grit. Pull that left knee back in. And release down. Feel the smoothness of it. Smoothly glide the chest up. Extend the right leg out. And turn to the left. Good. Smoothly pull that right knee back in and open the right elbow back out. Curl up. Left leg out. Left elbow, left shoulder, twist. Relax your neck. Left knee back in. And relax head and shoulders down. Arms down alongside the body now. Legs straight up into the air. Instead of rocking the hips back and lifting up, we're going to see if we can lift straight up, more or less straight up toward the ceiling. So pick a point maybe that's out in front of you slightly. Aim your toes toward it and try to pop the hips up. Instead of using momentum and rocking back, try to pop the hips up, pointing the toes forward. Pop up. Pop up. Pop up. Good. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees. Bring the feet all the way back down to the mat. Now, if you have a block, here's where it might feel really nice to have a block. You don't have to. You can do bridge pose on your own 2 feet. If you have that block, you want to slide it underneath your hips in your bridge pose. Slide it under at any height. So, we've got 3 options with the block. We've got this highest height, and that might be a lot. If it is, you've got the medium height, or even the flattest, lowest height. We'll gently open the belly and allow you to lengthen through the hip flexors and the psoas, the thigh bones. So just enjoy this supported bridge, or by pressing into the feet and pressing the backs of the arms into the mat, enjoy that active bridge pose. And take care while you are here. It's not always about forcing our way through or putting rules and restrictions around everything, right? All the red tape. To get the most out of this, we really have to enjoy the moment. And sometimes that's easy to do in certain poses, and sometimes during core work or when you're holding bridge pose rather than being supported in bridge pose, it's more difficult. But the opportunity is still there. Opportunity to enjoy whatever is present. The challenge, the difficulty, the new perspective, the opportunity. If you're on the block, go ahead and push your feet down into the floor, slide the block out from underneath you, and release the hips down to the mat. Float the legs up one more time. This time, stretch your arms out wide. And take your knees over to the right for a spinal twist. And then take your knees up and over to the left, spinal twist. Roll all the way over onto that left side and push yourself up to sit. And spin around onto your belly, facing the front of your mat. So let's really stretch out that core work here with a little Sphinx pose. Stretch the tops of the toes down on the mat, straight down behind your hips, so legs aren't angled out. Push down through the elbows and lift up through the heart. Lift up through the upper palate. Lift up through the dome of the crown of the head. Push down through the shoulders, down through the elbows, and down through the palms. And from here, we'll take the right forearm across the front of the mat, so it's supporting underneath the chest. And pull the belly button up and in so you're not arching too much in the spine here. We're going to roll onto the right side. Bend that right knee, the bottom leg. Come up into a modified side plank from here. So the right knee isn't underneath the hip. It's still out, oriented like a plank, and the body long. Left arm long over the ear. And then right shoulder wants to kind of maybe hug up toward that right ear. See if you can push it down and away. Good breath. And we're going to roll to face the front of the mat and put the left hand down. Both knees down like tabletop. Square your hips in that table, but reach your right arm up to the sky. So it's a tabletop twist. Right arm reaching, stretching. And then again, wrap that right elbow down to the mat just like you had it before. Roll open into that modified side plank. Left arm up. Turn your left palm down over your head, over your ear, side body expansive. And then left hand down next to your right fist. Square off in a tabletop. Pull the belly button up and in and rotate into that twist. So isolate the hips so you can really turn and twist the chest to the right. And then drop the right elbow down. Open up modified side plank. Reach the left arm over the ear. And then again, left hand down. Reach the right arm up. And then right hand will plant underneath the right shoulder.
Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And situate yourself so that you can telescope from the palms all the way up through the lengths of the arms. Telescope from the soles of the feet all the way up to the peak of the hips. Maybe wag your tail a little side to side. Eke out a little more space on the sides of the waist. And we started this practice with a lot of attention right around the throat chakra. So notice here that all 4 sides of your throat can be lengthened and can breathe. Start to tip your gaze forward and walk your feet toward your hands at the top of the mat. Moving toward a forward fold position, feet plant firmly on the mat. Take a little halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And step your right leg back into a lunge. Feet hips width apart and rise up into a crescent lunge, arms up by your ears. Good. Take an in-breath here. As you exhale, float your arms back by your sides and hover your chest over your front thigh. So chest goes forward and kind of bows, but the arms rotate onto the back body. They pull back. We'll inhale up, lift the low belly, lift the chest, lift the pinky fingers, and exhale, fly forward. Roll the shoulders and upper arm bones onto your back. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, bow forward. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, bow. Okay, keep the heart reaching forward. Stretch the arms back. And then either keep reaching the fingertips toward the back of the mat or extend the arms forward, but keep the shoulders pulling down the back toward the hips, just as though the arms were behind the body. Press down into your legs, pull up through your belly, and then inhale, rise, crescent lunge. We're gonna step right to the top of the mat. So put a little bend in that back knee and step that right foot forward. Upward salute. Reach to the sky, and then drop your right arm down by your side. Keep that left arm extending up overhead. Sorry, you can't see me here. I'm gonna bend my left elbow and pat the back of my neck. Maybe even wiggle my fingers down to the space between my shoulder blades. And take the right arm, elbow, and bend it. So I work my fingertips toward one another. And if they don't touch, then I just grab my shirt. Gomukhasana arms. And it's great to see from the side here. It's really easy to jut the ribs forward. See if you can hug the front ribs into the body. Just breathe. Fully accept wherever you are in this pose, whether it's hands clasped or your right hand is further down toward the back of your hips and your left hand is behind your head. It matters not. What matters is that you put yourself into that position, into a position where you can experience full acceptance, where you can experience deep breaths, where you can enjoy the moment. We're going to release any grip that we have, but keep the left elbow bent, left hand on the back. Release the right arm. We'll take the right arm out to the side and circle it up so that it does the same thing as the left arm now. And if you can bring your palms to touch in a prayer position, fingertips pointing down the spine, do that. Otherwise, just bring your elbows up toward the ceiling, let the hands dangle down behind the head, and curl the head up into the support of the forearms. Tailbone heavy. Feel the head push back into the arms, so you create a little resistance there, strengthening the back of the neck that gets weakened from all that staring into screens and looking down at our phones and worrying about the future. Good. And then stack the spine tall, reach the arms up to the sky. Inhale. And exhale, hands through center, dive right down over the legs, Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen the spine, look forward. And we'll step the left leg back into a lunge. So lower your center of gravity by allowing your hips to anchor down to your feet. And then rise up, crescent lunge. So when we feel that connection between hips and feet, we've got more stability when we start to sway the upper body. Spread the toes. Take an inhale. And exhale, float your arms back by your sides. Reach your chest forward like you're peeking over the edge of a cliff. Wrap your upper arm bones onto your back like you've got these big falcon wings behind you. Inhale up. As the arms lift, the tailbone drops down. And then float the arms back, chest forward. Lengthen the spine. And come up again. Arms up by the ears. And float the arms back alongside the body. Hug the upper arm bones toward the spine. Feel that energy of the shoulders pulling away from the ears. Rise up again, inhale. And float forward again, exhale. So you want that same energetic action, shoulders. Imagine you're holding on to some ropes behind you with your hands and the shoulders pull away from the ears. And even if you choose to bring the arms forward, the shoulders stay plugged down the back. Good. Lengthen the spine. Dig into those back toes, that big toe mound, pinky toe mound of the back foot. Give you that strength to reach a little further. And then come up to crescent lunge, arms up by your ears. We're going to push off the back foot, put a little bend in that knee, and stand up. Urdhva Hastasana, top of the mat. Reach up. Keep the right arm up by your ear. Drop your left arm down by your side for Gomukhasana arms. Right elbow bends behind the back. Left elbow bends and swims up the spine. Fingertips toward one another. Find your space to be 100% satisfied and evaluate that. If the only way you're going to get satisfaction out of this pose is by linking your fingers, then reevaluate. Reevaluate. Notice that there is more enjoyment to be found in every variation of every pose. If I loosen the grip of my fingers, I can lengthen the sides of my neck and I don't feel like I'm turning the head at all. I can stand a little taller, a little straighter. Can draw the front ribs in a little bit more and it doesn't feel like I'm pushing myself forward. It feels like I'm coming home into my own body. Energetically, shoulders plug down the back. We'll keep the right arm where it is. Release the left arm and circle it up and around to meet the right. Hands drip down the spine and push the head back into the forearms, back into the wrists. So the elbows hug in toward midline. And then the ribs spread, the intercostals spread, the belly button pulls in. And the heart goes up and back. Good. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky, stack the spine tall, breath in. Hands through heart center as you breathe out, forward fold. And do that again. In your fold, breathe in. And breathe out. Let's stay here for another moment, just kind of letting all of that tingle and trickle through the upper body. We're going to do some squats to come down to the mat next. If you want to skip that, if you've got bad knees or tight ankles, then just go ahead and start to drop your hips toward your heels here. Otherwise, we're going to rise back up. And we'll bring the arms out in front of the body, palms face down. So if you already landed on the ground, you get a little breather. Just pause in a little seated meditation. If you're squatting, we're going to keep the toes and the fingertips pointing forward and send the hips toward the back of the heels. Go as low as you can go and hold. And then rise back up. And try that again. Release down into that squat. Maybe you can drop hips toward the heels, curl the belly in, use the core to stay up on the feet. And rise back up. And then one more time. Squat down. It's okay if you hang here like chair pose. Great. When you're ready to come all the way down to the mat, you can bring your hands behind you to help catch your seat before you come all the way down. Good. Feet stay planted on the floor in front of you, knees pointing up toward the ceiling. We'll bring hands behind the shoulders here. Reverse tabletop. So as you lift the hips up, make sure the knees point directly forward in the direction of the toes and some splaying out to the sides. Lift and open the chest, lengthen through the upper arms, all the way down into the fingers. Stay here and breathe. If you want to add on, right leg extends forward. Inhale. As you exhale, dip your hips down and tuck your knee to your nose. Right knee in. Inhale, kick back out. Maybe you just hold that reverse table. Maybe you flow. Exhale. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hug in. Good. Look forward, cross this right ankle over your left thigh and take the round out of your back. So we've got a figure four position here. Walk the hands in until you feel the outer right hip start to catch some release. Flex your right toes. Let's do one more big breath. So find the heart of that stretch. Here, sit with breath. And then pick your hips up and slide them back a little bit toward your hands. Lengthen your left leg out in front of you, and right leg can stay crossed over, but sole the foot down to the mat. Let's twist to the right. Wrap your left elbow around that right knee or hook it on top, right hand behind you, and turn center of your chest to the right. Unwind that twist and counter twist all the way around to your left. And we have a moment to play here. So we're gonna put the left hand down underneath the left shoulder with room for the elbow to bend like chaturanga. So as though we were going to lower down into chaturanga from here. And you can kind of lower the chest so you come to the inside of that right knee. Bring the shoulder on the inside of that knee too. And then take your right arm out in front of that knee and reach down towards your left toes. You may or may not reach them. If you do reach them, grab the pinky toe edge of that foot. If you don't reach them, just keep extending the arm in that direction. And you're just gonna work this twist here. Bending your left elbow like chaturanga and extending your chest forward. So you're holding, you're isolating, you're strengthening that left arm without collapsing down. If you have a hold of the foot, maybe you can rock the weight onto that right foot. Lean the chest forward. Again, no slumping, no dumping. Left arm strong like chaturanga. Look forward. And then release back down. Set the hips down. Good. So we're going to stay facing this direction and put both hands out on the side of the mat now. And it might help to bend this left knee back behind you. We're going to step the left foot out into Malasana. So that leg just slid back and around. Stepped out, drop your hips towards your heels. Malasana, facing the side of your mat. And then snuggle the elbows, the upper arm bones down to the insides of the knees. But lift the chest up. Good. Let's rise. Stand up tall, stand up strong, reach the arms up to the sky and turn a quarter turn toward the back of your mat. So left leg is staggered in front of the right leg. Right heel is down, right toes are angled out to the side slightly, hands on your hips. Let's hinge forward for a pyramid. A block might be handy here too. You can hover right here, long spine. That might be really nice, no load on the back. You might bring your hands down to your shin. If you do not lock out this left knee. Push your shin into your hands. Lengthen the chest forward. Or hands can come to block or floor. You can bow into your Parsvottanasana. It's not just about the poses, right? It's not just about the practice. It's not just about grinding your way through. It's about your approach, quality that you bring to the practice, how you practice. Lengthen the chest forward if you bow down. Keep the right hand on the inside of the left leg or take it to the outside or just keep it on the shin. And start to reach the left arm up into the air. Good. Draw the outer left hip back. Back, back, back in space. So the left sideways gets long. Breathe in. And then flip that left hand down. Right hand down on the opposite side of the foot. Drag your right knee in and tuck it behind your left heel. Sit down. Crawl this left foot over, over, over until the knees start to stack in Gomukhasana. Gomukhasana legs here. And if the knees don't stack or if it looks a little more uneven like this, that's okay too. Weight in the hips. No weight in the spine. Draw up through the crown of the head. This breath means something. Let it fuel something in you. We'll start to untangle the legs. Step the feet out in front of the body with the knees pointing up toward the ceiling. Feet hips width apart. Hands behind you. Preparing for that reverse table. I like to roll my shoulders back first. Prep my elbows to point straight back instead of out to the sides, right? So I'm opening across the chest, and then I get all that lift and expansion as the hips come up. Stay here and hold if that feels really nice, or extend the left leg out. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, hips come down, knee tucks to the nose. Inhale, stretch and lift. Exhale, tuck the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Lift the chest, hook that left ankle over the right knee, and start to walk the hands in and the spine up. Figure 4. My classes tend to incorporate a lot of movement, but the work isn't done when the movement stops. All of that is just kind of the precursor to this deeper work that happens when we get still and silent, when we go in deep. That stuff's all important, right? We have to have that movement. We have to stir things up, and then we can see what's really there. We're going to extend the right leg out and step the left foot over onto the floor. Preparing for a spinal twist. Wrap the right elbow around the left knee, or take the elbow up over top, left hand behind, and turn the core of the body to the left. As we unwind, we counter twist around to the right. Little playtime moment, right hand out in front of the right shoulder so that you can lean into it like chaturanga. Left hand, left shoulder, come to the front or the inside of that knee, and then reach out long. So you're getting a little bit of length out of the low back here, and just work that action, or grab the pinky toe edge with that foot. And then if you want to start to lean the hips up, lift the hips up, stand into your left leg, chaturanga right arm. Everybody, long spine, pull the chest forward, think cobra. And if you came up, gently set it back down. Nice. Okay, 2 hands over on this right side. Again, lean into those hands, tuck this right leg back behind you if you need a little extra push off of that knee to come into your Malasana squat. Hang out here if that was too intense to drop all the way down, hips to heels. You can use the support of the hands, or even put your elbows on your knees here. You'll feel a little more fire. Or you can drop down, thigh bones sink deeply into hip sockets. And that open low back receives the breath. Good. We'll push down through the feet. And the body will rise. And we take that quarter turn pivot to the right. So we're facing toward the front of the mat again. And you might need to widen your right foot out to the side slightly. For pyramid pose, hands to your hips. Lengthen forward from your hips. Pause at any point. Maybe bringing hands down to shins, block floor. Maybe bowing over the right leg. Start that work of pulling the outer right hip back. And then lengthen the spine again. Left hand either on the inside of that front foot or the outside for a little more challenge, and reach the right arm up into the air. So twist. Tug the outer right hip back. And then bring the right hand down, square off over your front foot. And we'll bring our left knee to the back of the right leg, slide down into a seat. And walk this right foot over until you find Gomukhasana legs. Or until you find the asana, the seat in which your heart can rest. So that the breath knows its own importance. Everything else kind of steps aside. Start to release those legs. Just bring them into a comfortable cross-leg position in front of you. And we started with Surya Badana, inhaling through right and exhaling through left. And to come full circle, we're going to inhale through left and exhale through right, Chandra Badana. So same mudra in the hands. We'll cover the right nostril with the thumb and breathe in through the left. Breathe out through the right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale right. With that circular, lunar, cooling, soothing breath going. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Getting in touch with our more feminine, watery, flowy side. Inhale left. Exhale right. Because both the yin and the yang are essential to balance, to well-being. Inhale left. One isn't better than the other. Exhale right. They don't exist without each other. Inhale left. Exhale right. Release the right hand down and feel the breath as it comes in through both nostrils. Feel the wavelength of the energy created by that breathing pattern. Bring the soles of the feet together so you come into Badakanasana. Maybe take a little cat and cow there, maybe just 1 or 2 cycles. And roll down into Supta Badakanasana on your back. And take a cycle or 2 of breath there. Then work your way through any final movements so that you can come to rest peacefully. Give yourself this moment to enjoy the simplicity. This is not idle time. This might be the most important minute of your day. The deeper you drop into this rest, the higher you'll rebound with energy afterward. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Open the mouth widely to let it out. Breathe in and out through your nose. Fully aware of how the breath comes in, how the breath fills you.
fully aware of that miracle, the process of breathing. And start to reach your arms up overhead and wiggle through the fingers and the toes, roll through the wrists and the ankles, stretch the whole body out. And then maybe hug the knees into the chest, curl yourself into a ball. Or simply roll to your side if that feels better, and pause on your side for a moment. And then the moment has come where we rise, we come back up to sit. And we get to take with us all that we generated, all that we created, all that we infused ourselves with over the past hour. We get to take that with us out the door. We get to take that with us into this holiday week. I hope it's wonderful for all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Have a great week. Namaste. Thanks, guys. Stay safe in the snow.